Oh, we are live now. I hate StreamYard. But I love noon on Fridays, noon Eastern on Fridays, that is, because it is small biz breakdown time. I get to talk with a whole bunch of smart people and John Lawson. Speaking of which, why don't we introduce them all? Starting out on the West Coast, the West Coast. Leland from Oregon. Hey, Leland.
Hey, Brent. It's good to be here. I still think that Ramon is slightly a little bit more west than I am, but I'm glad that I get put on first.
Well, let's ask him right now. Ramon from the West Coast.
Oh, yeah. I beat Leland by miles, like thousands of miles. Absolutely no. Good day, America. Good day, world. Leland, you can always have first place in anything we're doing. Brent, good to see you, brother. And good to see you all. Welcome to Small Business Breakdown.
Coming all the way from, what did you call it again? The rock and roll land. Magical, mystical. I'm adding mystical because I've never been there. I don't know if she's actually telling the truth about this, but we always trust Evana Taylor.
Hey, everyone. I'm going to have to clean my screen. So good to see you all.
And we're kind of glad you cleaned your screen too, just so we can see you better.
I know. I've been touching it, and I shouldn't do that. Sorry. Go on. Just
nothing like watching you do that live.
We're live. We are live.
We are live. And guess who's live all the way from our nation's capital? He is a guy that I've actually known for about 20 years, and I have never seen him not smiling. Shashi Bellamkonda. Hey, Shashi.
Hey, everybody. Greetings from the capital of the world, Washington, D.C. area.
I just said the country, but if you want to go with the world, okay, we can upgrade that for a little bit.
It's bright and sunny, and as you can see, a lot of things to smile about.
Damn, he's just so happy. Okay. Moving from happy to, I really truly don't know what he is today. He is the cold one. He's the bold one. More and more people are kind of starting to call him the old one. Do it behind his back. John Colder Ice Lawson.
What's up, people?
He looks so happy too. Everybody's looking happy.
I'm excited.
The hell are you guys so happy?
I want to say from happy to slap.
Happy to be on the show.
Wow. Shashi, we need to get your expectations a little bit higher for happy. All right. So
Say hello to my Instagram audience, everyone.
Ramon, any remarks?
Yeah, listen, you guys don't have to keep following Shashi and his content. You can, you don't, it's not a must. You know what? Welcome, Instagram audience, from Shashi Bellamkonda, the happiest guy in the world. Welcome.
The happiest man in the world. I might say the universe. It might be that big. His smile is kind of big. Anyway, I've been on the road the last 2 weeks and stuff, so I have to confess, I didn't come prepared. I'm sorry, folks, but I do have a couple of ideas. But I do have one thing, at least one thing. So I maybe have to keep Shashi out of this one because he's also, in addition to being a small business guru kind of guy, he stepped up to the enterprise. He's an enterprise analyst now, so he might have already seen this, or he might have already know the answer to this. So, Shashi, you're excused. Just sit there and smile like you usually do.
Okay.
When you're not telling us all these smart things. All right. So, how many of you saw what happened to Oracle this week?
Amazing.
Oh, so you did see it. Okay.
Yeah.
I did.
Everybody saw it. Okay, good.
Yeah, I think we saw it.
Overnight, up close to 40%. You don't see that often. Matter of fact, it went up 36% in one day. Oracle went public back in 1986. This is a 39-year-old company. You don't see companies that have been public. Well, actually, it's more like a 50, but it went public 39 years ago. You don't typically see companies that have been public for that long do that kind of number because they've been around. Everybody knows pretty much all that you need to know about them. A 5% jump is really good for a company that's been public for that long. But 36% one day, that was what it closed. It actually was a little I think it got over to 41, 42%, but it settled down and closed about 36%. What's the last company that has been public for about 39, 40 years to see their stock price go up that much in one day?
It's not Cracker Barrel. I would estimate. I would say Apple, but I don't know how long Apple. I'm probably off on the 40-year thing, but I'm just making a guess on the 36%. Apple.
Dang,
Yeah.
that was my guess. I got to pick another one.
Yeah. By the way, Apple, I think they were actually public before Oracle went public.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shashi,
Okay,
am I right that you've already seen this?
I've seen this, yes, but I didn't see the comparison, honestly. So.
Oh, well, all right, then I'll let you back in since, usually you already know this stuff. But so we got Apple. So are you both saying Apple or are
I
you?
don't know.
No, even I can't say Apple because I just said it. She has
I
to
know.
say
He
no.
just said it. I shouldn't say it because
Well,
you
you
can't have
can't-
two people.
You can't say 42 either. So you got to
I
get rid of
know.
something.
I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking. I honestly don't know.
Okay,
Go
well,
ahead,
while she's
somebody.
thinking, anybody else want to take a shot? So we got Apple for what Ramon is Apple.
Mhm.
I'll go NVIDIA.
But that's
Okay.
not 40 years, right? Is it?
See, Shashi, you can't be saying stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah, Shashi.
He was strong with his answer, and that's it. So he's locked in at NVIDIA.
I'll take it. It's like I have no
yeah.
other idea, and it's probably Apple. Yeah, because after the,
Hey, Leland,
Yeah,
stop.
Steve Jobs
Stop.
goes back.
Leland, you should go for NVIDIA. Keep promoting NVIDIA. Say why you're right, even though you know it's wrong. That's painful. I know. But
All right, so we got I got Apple, I got NVIDIA. Come on,
It's got to be old.
it doesn't necessarily have to be a tech either.
Oh,
Just
It
saying.
can't be. I want to do one of the car companies, like who? They haven't done anything good. Airplanes. I don't know.
y'all are killing me.
I mean, come on.
Ford.
What about you, Mr. Lawson? You're sitting there ominously quiet.
No,
Don't
I mean,
be-
I don't know.
I honestly, Apple was my one guess. Shashi knows. Go ahead, Shashi. You say it.
No, I actually don't. I was thinking of AOL Time Warner, but they don't
Oh,
exist.
a movie
kind of, right?
entertainment.
Yeah.
Google,
Then I would guess GE.
Yahoo.
Please
All right, lock
remind me
one
to
in.
never have any of you on Family Feud with me. Never.
All right, Shashi, are you locking in one of these? We need you to pick what PE, GE, GE. All right, so we got GE, we got Apple, we got NVIDIA.
Who
Ivana,
would be? Yeah, like I
Mhm.
want to say like a defense contractor person. Like what's the other one? Boeing.
all right, so you want to lock in Boeing? Lockheed
Yeah.
or Martin, or whatever. But
Yeah,
all right, we're going with Boeing.
I'll go with Boeing. I don't know.
All right, that just leaves the cold one and the bold one.
I don't know. What's that car company? Chrysler. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, go ahead for it, John.
Okay, so we got
I don't know.
Chrysler, we got Boeing, we got Apple, we got NVIDIA, and we got GE. Bring good things to life out here. All right, so the actual answer is, and this was a tough one. You know why it was tough? Because it had never been done before.
Oh,
Nobody that's been public for that long has ever seen a one-day stock price increase happen.
Absolutely.
after they
brilliant.
fired everybody?
Brilliant. Yeah.
is that how we do the market now?
No.
Though they fired a bunch of people, and it's like, yay!
Well, they didn't necessarily fire a bunch of people like Microsoft is, and they were really trying to play cleanup. So is Salesforce. No, they got this, and even their earnings report didn't really move the market. But what did move the market is when they announced they got a new customer with a $17 billion order, and they basically said their sales are ramping up because of their AI infrastructure stuff. So
Mhm.
that's why
They got a new customer. See, that's a lesson for small businesses, right? Going after the right customer. Look at the power of that.
Well, it was a
Even if
$17
you're
billion
not public.
contract. It was a
I mean,
$17
even if
billion
you're not
contract.
public, even if you're not public, even though I don't like giving the advice to have all your eggs in one basket, that is the power of a whale.
It also kind of keeps on telling us, and I saw it again this week because I forget, was it Salesforce? Somebody came out with their earnings. I can't remember. Shashi, you might. Another software company versus an AI infrastructure
Klarna,
company.
maybe? Was it Klarna?
Genesis.
No, they're not even public.
Klarna.
It might have been Klarna, but it was. It seemed like it was more aligned with me. But anyway, their stock price did actually went down, and they announced pretty decent revenue. They didn't miss or anything, but once again, the AI infrastructure companies they're just golden right now, and maybe that's because picks and shovels, Mr. Lawson. It's all about the picks and shovels so far. He knows that's a little inside.
Porch fix and porch fork. How does that? Oh my God! Pitchforks and shovel.
Even his mouth hasn't quite got up this morning yet, but it'll catch up.
Pitchforks and shovels.
Is that referring to infrastructure projects, Brent? Roads and highways and sewages and all that stuff?
Digital roads and highways, basically.
Were you thinking of Adobe?
And maybe it was Adobe, and yeah, because they've been in the dumpster for like the better part of the last 2 years. But all these software companies that are trying to integrate AI into their platform, whatever story they're telling, the investors ain't buying. Whereas the infrastructure companies with the picks and the shovels or the pitchforks,
Yeah.
I like to be a good pitchfork too. They're killing it. Killing it. I don't know what it says. What do you think that says when the hardware folks they announce their earnings and go crazy, and the software guys go down? What are we dealing? What does that say about where we are with AI?
I have a thought on that.
Go ahead.
And again, I'm not, you and Shashi study this more with the big companies, but here's a guess, a layperson's guess, as it were, or an enthusiast. I like that word, John, enthusiast of following these things. I think the software stuff can go up and down. Adobe could be good. Adobe could not be good. Klarna may work. Klarna may not work. But we know AI and related is going to stay. Therefore, the infrastructure is a sure bet, if that makes sense. We don't know driverless cars, whether it's Waymo, whoever the brands are. We don't know which one, but we do know that investments in driverless technology.
Hey, hold on just a second. Somebody's got. Who is that? Somebody got like a TV on in the background or somewhere?
Not me.
That was really weird. Okay.
Yeah, but we do know that, like driverless cars, we don't know who it will be, who will win, but we know the infrastructure of the driverless car technology is going to be a bet. So that's why I think, just to answer your question, why that may be.
Anybody else got a shot?
Yeah, I actually, I was also reading in the Wall Street Journal today that oil companies are actually benefiting a lot with the AI boom because of the energy that's needed, right? So a lot of these infrastructure companies are actually buying the energy from oil companies, which means our electricity bill is going to go up and our fuel bill is going to go up. But the idea for small businesses is basically watch trends to see if your business can fit into whatever trend is happening.
I'd kind of put it into it's not all. I mean, NVIDIA's going out crazy, but Intel's not doing as hot, and AMD is just kind of like, it's doing all right, maybe a little bit of an increase, but they all have access to GPUs, but everyone wants NVIDIA's GPUs for AI, even though Intel, they make GPUs. You don't know about.
Well, Intel is more CPU based.
They're more CPU, but they do actually make GPUs.
They're far behind AMD when it comes to that. Yeah, but they're trying to get there, and that's why the government gave them all that money, because they want to. They're paying big time catch up. NVIDIA got lucky. I mean, their GPUs were for games, and it just so happened that it's also great for doing AI stuff, and so they kind of fell into that lead. And the other thing, China is definitely not looking for NVIDIA chips. They're already trying to prop up some of their companies to take away some of NVIDIA's business. So I don't know how much, but I would say it's going to be, at some point in time, it's going to be pretty significant, because China is hell bent on being able to have it done right in their own country.
Yep.
All right. Oh, by the way, let me just say I did a little too quick. I didn't get actually a chance to say hello, Sean. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good day too. All right. Even you posted something in our little chat, and I admit I haven't got a chance to
I
look at it.
cannot
But
even remember what I posted. Remind me what I
I
posted.
will remind you. SMBs are doing more than ever. So why is confidence failing?
Is that the I
Small
thought
business now.
was that the what's it called? The
Constant contact. It looks like
constant contact study. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. All these studies are coming out. Somebody posted the NFIB study. I think it's completely and utterly fascinating. Shashi, you got one to say? Drop in.
No,
Oh,
I said.
okay. I thought you
FIB
wanted to say
study,
something.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of saying the constant contact study is kind of saying something similar to the NFIB study. What I think is fascinating, folks, always remember context. Constant contact is in the email business. So they are absolutely positively going to want to do a study that shows everyone how powerful direct marketing is, email marketing, and so on and so forth. It really is. So, but not all kinds of email marketing is effective. Overall, if you've been keeping your email marketing strategy the same over time, you're going to see a slight reduction in ROI. Used to be 44. Remember, everybody was talking $44 for every dollar spent. Now it's down. Like I've seen it around 36, 38. You know, it's been like slightly less. But what I thought was fascinating about this particular study that came out with constant contact is that small businesses are confused, overwhelmed, and frustrated, and their marketing efforts have sort of been like, we don't know what's going on. And at the same time, they are throwing money at everything. I don't know what to think about that, right? Because you got to look at these things in totality. So I find all of these research studies, you got to really, really look at everything. And just like we say about all media consumption, like take a moment and ask yourself a few questions like, does this make sense? Like, what does this really mean?
So I'm just looking at it, and SMBs are doing more than ever. So it sounds like they are trying a bunch of stuff.
And yet,
confidence is failing. That means it ain't working, right? I mean, or are their expectations out of whack? Maybe they think it should be doing better than what I
am sorry if I sound like what is the guy's name from that has the cloud over his head? Schleprock,
my boy Schlep. Oh, come on.
Right? If I sound like a Schleprock, I really don't mean to. There's some like you, Brent, Shashi, even intelligent people here. And that is, I don't know if it was this survey they did it or the NFIB survey. Now I got them mixed up. You know, they're all in my head. Small businesses are super concerned about costs going up, right? We just talked about electricity going up, costs going up. This is a real concern. They are really concerned about finding good people. They say quality people, qualified people, please people, you gotta, you know, they have job openings that they say they can't fill with quote unquote good people. So you got to stop and ask yourself, what is good people, right? You got to be willing to work for what they're paying for what you got to be they're not finding the people who are taking them up on their employment offer, right? Costs are going up. They can't fill the positions that they have. They're sort of like, you know, NFIB sells this as if this is like a good thing, but like 14% out of how many they survey? 10,000, 100,000. They survey a lot of people. 14% of those people are like doing awesome. The real number is the mid-range, the 27% that say they're doing okay, or the 50-some% that say they're doing well or something. And then the next one down, which is 27%. There's some numbers shifting in there. That's the real number. It's 80-some% are actually holding steady. And yet the optimism number has gone up. How this works in a small business owner's mind, I will never understand, because which just goes to show you can't look at these numbers in their entirety. Like your costs are going up. You can't find good people. And yet you kind of feel like selling is going to happen. I'm like, how is selling going to happen if you got no one to sell your stuff and your costs are going up? So you're going to have to raise your prices, and yet you're like, yay, okay. And oh, by the way, while I don't have enough money to do anything, I'm just going to spend it all on marketing. I'm just going to throw more money at it.
What? I've seen that confidence. Sometimes I see it's up. Sometimes I see it's down. It's almost sort of like week to week. So is it just because we're in such a chaotic environment now that one day, if you survey the one person on Monday, everything's great. And then Wednesday, oh, it sucks. I don't know what the confidence number means anymore because like you said, some of this stuff ain't making sense. If you're doing all these things and you're feeling like you're not getting anything out of it, how the hell can you feel more confident? I don't quite understand.
I appreciate your saying that, because I'm like, I must be the dumbest person on the planet. But I'm curious, Ramon. You've been dubiously quiet. You are our optimist. You and John are touching, like, literally in the presence of these wildly optimistic people. So, jump in.
Yeah, sure. And I think if they're, just so we know, for the sake of production, there is noise somewhere. Maybe
I just heard it, but I think it's gone now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe someone has a vacuum cleaner playing in the background or something. But the point is, even here's why I'm optimistic. I was talking to a friend of mine from Tech Jays. His name is Philip. I just posted a little clip on him across my platforms. He has a 200-person company doing whatever it's doing in revenue. He's optimistic. Now, why is he optimistic? The flywheel is built. So hence, I believe it's important when you have to segment your customer, and segmenting the type of business it is and what industry are they in. I do think those two things matter. So for the right mindset or segmentation of business, who's in the right industry that has more or less an opportunity to grow, I think there should be optimism. If you're in, CPG, consumer packaged goods, that's a tough industry. They say it all the time on Shark Tank. You need tons of money to get shelf space and all that. That could be hit or miss. But you're in a small IT consulting company. You've already gotten $4 million in revenue, $15 million in revenue, which is not a lot compared to, bigger companies. But the flywheel's built, customers coming in. That's just for you to fail. That's in your hand. You're a design agency. You may have to rethink about it there, because AI and design and all that's doing it. So my point being is that if the flywheel's built, you're a mature business, you got customers, and you're moving along, and you're in a progressive industry that's not an industry that's glaringly can be challenged. I do believe there's optimism. I'll take a look even for my own business. Again, I'll shout out, thank you all for allowing me, Bitdefender. I've been recently appointed as Bitdefender's small business ambassador, encouraging all small business owners to be secure. I'm positive. If brands will need brand ambassadors, whether it's American Eagle or whether it's whatever brand you want to pick, if they need humans to represent them, I'm going to be fine. That's up to me to find the brands like Bitdefender who says we need a human to shake hands and kiss babies. So that's why I'm optimistic, even a tale of DIYmarketers.com.
Anybody?
Oh, the silence. Y'all wanted me to speak more? Is that what y'all wanted me to do? Okay, so, let me continue. So,
what else anybody else has to say on this? Because I'm kind of like with even it's like, there's so much going on, and maybe it's a bigger question than this. There's so much going on, and there's a lot of chaos. I'm not just talking about directly in the in between the business lines, but we all know there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's so chaotic, and it seems very disruptive in nature. Do small business folks, and maybe this is just like I'm asking something that we all won't really know, but we can speak from our individual selves. How much does all this outside chaos and disruption play into your confidence in your business stuff? I mean, maybe it's hard to deal with the chaos and the disruption, but it doesn't impact me from a business perspective, or everything I do impacts me from a business perspective. How do you guys approach all this stuff? Because there's so much going on. Are you able to shut it out, or does it leak in and impact the way that you feel about what you're doing with your business?
I'm going to answer on behalf of John, because this is what he's going to say. I
This is gonna
don't
be-
think small businesses look at the stock market or read the studies. Like most of the time, they're even ignoring the politics of it. So the small business confidence and the consumer confidence are still relatively stable, which means that people are still buying, so it has not affected their business. The day it affects their business is when they're all going to say, "Oh my God, we need to do something." So that the problem still hasn't come yet, is what I'm thinking. Now, the stock market is not the economy, it's still going up. But where it relates to this conversation is it means that people like the feeling that they have the 52% or whatever is the number of people who have stocks will feel like, hey, let me go get that extra meal. Let me go buy shirts like Ramon Ray buys from expensive stores, right? Charles did it, you said. So that's the reason why nobody is freaking out. And it may get better next week when the Fed meets and the interest rate comes down. Everybody will feel like suddenly you have the same amount of money, but you feel like you have a lot more money. So it's an odd situation. It's not something that we can logically explain in any way. And I'm sure I didn't do a good job trying that. Over to you, John.
No, Shasha, you did. John, I've already talked to John about it, and he agrees. He says what you said represents him well, and go ahead, John.
Well, I think one thing is, I've built a business from the kitchen table. I've dealt with bringing in inventory. I've built a warehouse. I stock a warehouse. I have employees onshore, offshore. The thing is that when your business is thriving, or when it's not even like all the way thriving, you're constantly riding the wave. And as a business owner, I don't know these folks that are just, biting their nails all the time, or screaming and shouting all the time. We're always positioning ourselves really for the next wave, whatever that is going to be. You've got to get ready to take advantage of what's coming up. And most of the small businesses I know are adopting generative AI. It's up from where it was last year. And those that have adopted it early are starting to pull ahead fast. And I'm seeing that. And I think there is a lot to be said there. Yes, there's upset things in the cart about, tariff reality with what's that going to do? Is it going to be a negative impact? Whatever the impact is going to be, again, that's a wave we're going to ride. And I think there's optimism in the fact that there is going to be a reduction in loan money, or whatever that thing is.
You mean interest rates?
Yeah, interest rates.
Yeah.
So there's things going on that I don't think are being reflective by asking, 500 people in your circle, do you think it's good or bad? Because they keep going back and forth. It doesn't matter. We're going to ride the wave no matter what. That's the bottom line. This is just another economic cycle in small business, and we'll be fine.
Going back to what you said about you asking 500 people questions. Going back to what Even has said about, well, when you actually speak at length to these, and I think you even said it too, when you actually speak at length to these, first it's like, oh, everything's going great. And then you keep talking to that person, and then you really get the real deal. So maybe these surveys are just too surface, too easy to pick something, because the real meat comes in the conversation, not in the taking the survey. And it always, you find a whole bunch more stuff out than, oh yeah, we're doing great. Well, we're doing great, but kind of concerned about this. Or
yeah, there's always something going on.
And the converse, Brent, and the converse. I'm sad the economy is horrible, but you know what? Yeah, we did get a $50 million contract. So there's let's
damn, if they got a $50 million contract, what the hell are they saying they're sad for? I mean, that's That's pretty crazy.
You know, that's another thing that we are not seeing a lot of that you guys sort of just brought up. And that is real market research. There used to be that group, Ramon, you know them, CEB. They used to do this very in-depth interviews type of research. And that brings out those things that Ramon was talking about. They're able to parse these people out into segments. They're able, you know, when you're doing in-depth interviews with people or focus groups and in-depth, there's like a whole research process. A lot of that has been cut out of the budget. It's expensive. You can imagine. We talked about how we did it with Zoho. That cost them a pretty penny to get their target audience in a room and engage with them and have those subtle conversations where you're going to get these nuances, right? But hey, there's good news if you're a small business owner. So much good news. You can do that kind of research for yourself. If you're doing it yourself, you don't have to spend any money, but you do have to step out of yourself, be an observer, be curious, right? And like approach your market and your customer who is right in front of you, right? With an open mind, with curiosity. Like be the observer, be a scientist, and just be curious. I see too many of my clients try to do that, but they can't get out of their own way because they're thinking about, I got to sell more widgets. What do I got to do to What you want to be doing instead is you want to be asking questions. You know, what would help you? What's missing? That kind of thing.
Well, that's why a lot of people do these surveys, and it's just they make up a list of questions, and then they just put it out there, and you get this very surface level stuff. I think the best surveys, I knock some of these Gartner and Forrester kind of things, but what they do is they actually talk to the customers, and it's not just like a checklist. They're of course they're looking for certain information, but they're also looking for sentiment. They're also looking for things that you can't just get from somebody answering on a survey. And if you don't do those kinds of activities, there's absolutely no way you're going to feel very comfortable about knowing these people. Because look, we've all taken surveys and we just mark any old thing just to get through it, to get that $10 gift certificate. I've done that. I'm guessing all of you, or maybe some of you, have done something similar. So it's just like people are going to do the least to get the most. But if you do these surveys where you're actually talking, like Zoho, I think one of the people that were at the event, one of the customers, they were just like 3 weeks into being a customer. And then you learn a lot from those folks. And then maybe you see folks that have been customers for 10 years. You talk to them, different perspective, you get different kinds of information. But most of these surveys that these things do, and I don't know them, the one that we're getting here. I don't know what their methodology is. I don't know any of that. But it just feels like sometimes you get a press release a day sent to me via email saying, "Hey, check out the results from this." And I always try to look at what they're doing, like the methodology, because most of it is just, we asked a random executive from They don't know anything about these people,
Or Brent, or we asked all of our happy customers who are using AI and who have had perfect AI implementations, and whose employees said they're happy with AI. We surveyed them, asking them, are they happy with AI, and is it perfect? 99.9% of them. So listen, I think that point, Brandon, even if taken about, we're right about that. What's the survey? What's the methodology? How biased is it or not? And we're all biased. Every company's biased. We know that the agencies, and God bless them, they need to have content. Hey, let's do a survey for Mother's Day, finding out who loves their mother. Duh. So I think that's one. But number two, surveys are a good barometer in some way, at least when it's done as best as can be. Barometer, we know the surveys for the election didn't go so well, but surveys are a good barometer. And then number three, I think this is where I think, though, the segmentation goes. And I'll just mention it again, even to his point. I'm sure she's talking to many small businesses that are in the doldrums, not doing well. Some of you know Lauren Feldman's 21 Hats podcast. There's a person who he interviews, City Bin. She makes rat trash anti-rat enclosures and anti-bear enclosures, depending on where you're at in the world. So you can put your trash out so rats can't get into it or bears can't get into it. That's a tough market. She's constantly talking about tariffs, manufacturing. That's physical goods. You got to ship those heavy suckers. She's in a whole different world. And again, I'll mention my friend who I talked to yesterday, Tech Jays. He's doing great. It's a software company. His team is offshored. So 2 different businesses. She's going to always be in a constant state of this is tough versus him, in this season. So,
Leland, you've been pretty quiet there.
Well, I was going to say, the best way is to, as Ethan says, just talk to your customers. And this is going to apply to people who are interacting with their customers directly, not storefronts online where you're not able to see them. So if you own like a convenience store, just talk with them. It's like, hey, is there anything that you're really dying for me to stock? Plumbing company, hey, how was your service? Did I do a good job? And just take 5 minutes at the most. I mean, maybe even pull out your phone, just say, hey, I'm just going to record this so that I could be better, and just record the conversation, pop it into your CRM or put it into a folder for later, and just talk with them and just shoot the breeze with them and get to know where their pain points are, what they're wanting, and then be able to adjust yourself accordingly or not. If it's just the one random customer who's like, I really like this licorice flavor coffee drink that no one has ever heard of. You're the only one who's asking for that. No, thank you. But yeah, just talk with your customers.
Mm-hmm.
For online business like yours, Leland, do you feel it's harder to actually get some, I guess I wouldn't say face to face, but at least voice to voice? Like, if you really want to get a little bit more than kind of the clicks and all that kind of stuff, is there a way that you think might work to actually get a little conversation going with some of your digital customers, or is that something that's maybe a little too hard to actually do at scale?
That is hard because it's not more about appeasing the readers. Unfortunately, it's appeasing Google, because if I'm not making Google happy, then I'm not in front of the readers. And so that becomes very difficult, because then and they're all saying, write content for humans. No, it's like I can, but if I wanted to make content for humans, I'm not going to be putting ads on it. I'm going to be curt articles that, just drive right to the point, and then the person's going to find the answer at the top and then leave. That's ultimately what they're going to want. I mean, have you ever gone to a recipe site and said, oh, gosh darn, I love hearing this person's story about making pie with their grandma. I got to read this whole thing before I get to the recipe. No, there is a jump to the recipe button so that you could click it, go down to the recipe, go past all of that, because all of that before is for Google. You got to give Google something a little bit more substantive than the recipe in and of itself.
Wow. So your job is writing for Google, so that in the hopes of actually Google giving access to people who are looking for it. So it's almost sort of like you're this multi-personality thing going, because you really want to just get to that in person. But before you can get to that in person, you got to go through algorithms and formulas and all that stuff, and then hope. Because let's go to Evina. You posted something, what is it, last week? Because Shashi's got a watch clock going on how many likes you get. You're coming up, I think it was last 934 likes. And one of the things you asked us in the chat is, why is this happening? Why is this thing that I did here? I've done millions of other things. Why is this thing all of a sudden getting me all this stuff? Isn't that one of the questions you're
that is the question? And I got to give credit to Shashi, because that's exactly what happened. We are sitting at Zoho. This thing has been up for maybe, I don't know, Shashi, a couple hours or something. And we all do this, right? We're at this event, and you're going to do this initial post. This had very little meat on it. I call the content meh. It was the right thing to do. I got a little philosophical, comparing Zoho to the Alamo and like whatever, and the little gift. And I tagged all the people on this panel and a couple people that I saw at the cocktail. This is like what we do, right? This is not anything different. I've done this before thousands of times. This one, I'm sitting next to Shashi, and Shashi's like early in on this. He's like, hey, Ivana, this has got like 300 likes or 200 and some likes within like a couple hours. He goes, is this the best one you've ever done? I'm like, no, I've had like 200 and some likes before. Time goes on, and I have never, that's bad. I don't even know. Is this normal? What, I mean, I know Brent gets like 666. So I didn't think it was just something weird that happened. You don't know
why you point out the 666 thing there, even that's not necessarily a good thing. And just like
it is a thing that was happening for you. This thing was happening for you, but I was like, dang, I would take.
Even let me help you understand why it happened. Even I hesitate always being the one to bring the wisdom to the group here, but somebody has to do it. Somebody has to. We have a host, so we don't need somebody for that. Somebody's got to bring the truth and understanding. When there's confusion to the group, somebody has to bring the light. I'm the light. So here's why, even. Let me just break it down. One, you were sitting in a Zoho event with a compressed group of people. Two, it was a compressed timeline. So it was written while the light of the event was there, number two. Number three, all the big dogs of Zoho were there. Raju, Sandy, and our friends, and the big end people focused on small business. Number three, there were 30-something odd small, influencers there who had a light on this, who were seeing this. And four, even the biggest thing, you said it, you were sitting next to Shashi. So if I had to think of those 5 things that were happening, that's, I think, why even it was the right time, right place. Even though, admitted, I'll go with what you said, mad content, let's say. You weren't trying to be viral. You just did a quick write-up there. But I think that's why. Right time, right place. You also did a LinkedIn article, I think, right? Not just a post. So maybe there's a few variables, I believe, that made the difference.
Hold on just a second there. One of the things you just said, she wasn't trying to go viral. She was just writing naturally what she was seeing and experiencing. She did it, like you said, at the time where all these people were there, and when she posted it, they probably immediately started I'm guessing LinkedIn gives you lift when you got some natural lift coming from it, and then it throws it in. Because I didn't get this post a couple of weeks ago, didn't get nowhere near the likes that she's gotten, but it got like 300,000 impressions. I don't ever get 300,000 impressions. Something happened that the LinkedIn algorithm saw, and it said, all right, we need to push this out to as many people as possible. Right. It's up to these freaking algorithms. And it goes back to what Leland is saying.
I think Ramon is right. You all missed what he said.
Sorry, 1 second. My headphone clicked. What did you say, Shashi?
Ramon is right. He said she was sitting next to Shashi, and that can cause such things.
That's it, really. And I've done research when I was at Harvard, MIT, Yale, and
visiting somebody or
I was when I was at those schools, and it said sitting next to Shashi has a 48.235% higher rate to get. Go ahead, Shashi. What were you saying?
So there are 2 things, Ivana, that I was looking at your post quite a lot, because one of the things is
he was analyzing
the chunking in lines, right? Leaving lines, excellent strategy, and LinkedIn rewards those things. Second, everybody else is using AI and you didn't. So that's a plus for you. And then plus, Zoho's team is quite enthusiastic. They probably have their Zoho social that does internally. But the surprising thing is, as people keep liking it, it keeps saying, this seems to be very important. So it's lasting for a very long time.
But here's the thing, though. If you try to do that same post again, I'll bet $1 million it won't even come close. It has nothing to do with you.
No, you know what? It's exactly what Ramon said, because I seriously sat down and said, what makes this thing different, right? And what I don't understand is, let's be clear. I believe, John, we all put something out that was similar, right? I had one with more meat in it. John had another one that was like a really nice little summary that I totally loved. And I was like, what? But it's like Ramon said, that was the only thing I could see that was different. It must.
Yeah, I think y'all are missing that. Yeah, I'm waiting on somebody.
Okay, go ahead. Well, go ahead.
It was the Alamo. It was the statue. It was the photo. The Photo
Oh, you think it
makes
was the
people-
photos?
It's always the photo.
But haven't you done that before? Put
Yeah.
posts
It's
with
always the
photos in
photo.
there?
Photo is the thing that makes people stop the feed. Now, after that, they'll read the headline and then they'll read the content. So photo, headline, content. So
But she's
the
done that before,
photo
I'm guessing.
already has given, enough. But I mean, how many times do you see the Alamo in a LinkedIn feed?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
looked for
With
it.
the
so
guy
have
with-
no
will
idea.
say-
With a photo
I
of
didn't-
the
I didn't
soldier
remember to
with the
look
gun.
for it.
So I do
Yeah,
vote
that's what I'm just
John.
saying. I mean,
I
you're
remember the Alamo.
overlooking the obvious to me. I mean, that to me was obvious. It's
But
like,
does that get
that
1,000
photo-
likes? She's done that so
And
many
not just
times.
that.
I don't.
No. It's
can't be just that.
like not just. I do a lot of what do you call it? Stock photo, right? But real photos, like
Real
what
photos.
do you call those? There's a name for it, right? Like
Real
not
photo?
staged, not whatever, right? These are like real photos. And I'm sorry, I believe you, John. I do posts that have these real authentic photos. I did one with my mom or like something like that.
But
Right?
again, it's the Alamo. It's not just any photo. It's
You
like,
think it's
hey,
the Alamo?
you start look.
Try it again.
Your photo.
Try it again and see.
Your post starts with, "I'm in San Antonio at Zoho," and it's a photo of the Alamo. I just think that right there.
John, I think that's a
Already-
contributor. I don't think that's it. I think
See,
it's a
that might be a
contributor.
part
I'm
of
not
it, but
saying that's it.
1,000.
I'm saying that's what starts the algorithm for people to get interested. The algorithm's always about whether or not people stop scrolling.
Because you can't count on what Ramon was talking about. What the reason I think it took off really is I think it was that specific, it went up. We were at the event, everyone saw it, and there was like a team on it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you're both right.
And another
Yeah,
thing, let me tell you why I
absolutely.
think another reason I'm more right than John. I think also, which is important to me, I live for that, is Brent lives to put this in our boxes at the beginning. I live to be more right than John, but I think something John said. I'm in, what was it? I'm in,
San Antonio.
I'm in San Antonio. That, John, if anything, if I had to bet, like, we're playing around here, I'd say if I had to not the photo, I'll give you some of that, 10%, 20%, but I think I'm in San Antonio algorithmically.
Why?
That
That's
could
why
have been
you
a
guys
trigger.
do that? Can I
No,
just tell
no.
you?
It's
I
a
hate when
combination of
people
all
do
that stuff. It's a combination of everything you
Combination.
just said.
Here's the thing. Ain't none of you always going, viral.
Correct.
So this is none
There's-
of us.
There's
It's
there's one
it's a
commonality in what she did. I did a short clip. I think I mentioned this in the thing. I did a short clip conversation with Schroeder. Maybe that was last year. I can't remember. And I put a little quote and a little clip and all that. And I've done that with Schroeder thousands of times.
Mhm.
But for whatever reason, this clip got 1,500 likes, and it was like a 90-second clip. 4,000 total viewing hours for a 90-second clip. I've done this plenty of times with Schroeder before, and I've gotten really good results, but nowhere near like that.
Okay,
It's
do
just-
it again. Do it twice and then tell me
It
how
will
it works.
never happen again.
Exactly. We
Never.
can't. We don't know.
That's why I'm saying there's some commonalities. Like somebody said, Zoho has they have some social stuff that a lot of the other vendors I do things with don't get. I can do things with other CEOs from vendors, bleh. But with Schroeder, and it's not necessarily, it is kind of necessarily Schroeder. A lot like Raju, I've done stuff with Tony tons of times before. Never get that impact. But when it's Schroeder, and I guess something with all the Zoho folks, and then he is like a Steve Jobs in India.
That's
so
right.
he's
That's
got
right.
a huge following. When I look at the analytics, like the top 5 cities for all that is always in India. So there's a combination. There's the Zoho factor. There's the Antonio. There's the Alamo factor. But there's something else, and it's the LinkedIn algorithm said, okay, we need to put this out there and get all sorts of people. You try to do it at the same time, maybe change it up a little. You'll be lucky to get like a half of that.
And I do think, Brent,
I
go
wanted
ahead.
to just say, like, for the small businesses here, right? LinkedIn is the only place where you see a combination. Like, for example, likes. If even though you're looking for your business this is probably not going to help you much because it's like worldwide and everything else. But the impressions part is more important because LinkedIn kind of looks at you and looks at what you've been doing and tries to put you in those feeds which matter, right? So, I mean, this had nothing to do the same. I just wanted to say, I wrote about an electric car, nothing to do with the business, wasn't expecting anything, but got more than 20,000 impressions.
But there's
And
something.
And I think it's being. Go ahead,
There's
Ryan.
something to be said when you're not trying to do something.
Yes.
It just and always. And then what happens? You try to replicate it, and you go right back to the straight line that you were before. It's like these algorithms have no heart. They
And I
know
think,
you're trying
Brent,
to do the same thing, but it never has the same result.
And I think the rawness of it, Brent, to your point, I think the rawness of it may be, again, it's a combination of a lot of things that, quote unquote, nobody can figure out, except there's people, though, who do go viral consistently, but those are the people, they already have 10 billion views. Point being, my little video on Waymo, in the street, I started it, wasn't perfect, probably dropped the camera. It was Waymo? Was it because it was electric, driverless car? Who knows? That went. Things like that, talking about some of the incidents of the last few days, saying, posted on something, I have a can of worms that I want to open. Boom. I wasn't, rarely am I trying to be cute. I mean, I have stuff, me and Leland and others have publications, but when it's just Ramon Ray, like I'm going outside, that gets a lot more engagement, so.
I want to try something, when the number of likes stop, I'm going to add your link to another post. I found then it kind of revives it because it says okay, this post has been linked because I linked a post that was written about a month ago, and suddenly that post started getting a lot of likes. So,
in other words, we all have no idea because as soon as we think we have an idea, that's when they change these freaking algorithms and wreck people's whole business model because it just suits them to keep changing it up. I don't understand it.
I didn't even know it was a thing. My assumption was that you guys were getting this thing all the time.
I think the people that, even when you see folks that have 1 million followers, you look at their posts, they're getting like 30 likes. I mean, they're not getting this what you would think would be the equivalent for somebody with 1 million followers.
Yeah,
they should be getting like 1 million likes.
Make a difference.
Followers don't
make a difference.
That's right. But when you see the numbers,
the algorithm these days, and
it's
about interaction in the first 30 seconds.
Yep.
Well, that's what it is today because by now the algorithm has changed and we don't know what it is.
That way, Leland. Remember when I don't know if you play some of you guys played along with Small Business Trends. If we were doing something on Small Business Trends, like when we were doing influencer awards and we were doing certain things, we would be like, "Hey, everyone, share this now." Remember that we used to do these types of things. That is a thing.
We used to call them thunderclaps. Remember the thunderclaps?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I used to be in a group. We would be in this group, and if somebody needed something, they put this thing out on this chat or in Skype or whatever, and we would all it takes a minute. It doesn't take long. And I think and on Amazon too, right? That everyone tells you if they have a book going up on Amazon, they would send their whole list, please write a review or here are some review ideas, because you have to get that
and then you get that little screenshot that shows that you are number one because it's the right minute. 2 minutes later, you're already off the charts. So you're right. It's all about that. So Shashi, I know you got to run. So why don't we get a final thought from you?
Yeah, I mean, I think just stay strong and wait. Next week is hopefully going to get some good news for everyone.
What's happening next week? Something big?
The Fed meeting.
Oh, that's already baked in, man. Unless they do 50 basis points, because everybody's baked in 25. But if they do 50, then you might see some real action. We'll see.
Have a great week, everyone. Thank you, Instagram.
See you, Shashi.
Do mom and pop small businesses, or at least the folks that aren't as inside the bubble as we are they having the kind of conversation we just had? And should they?
No.
Should they?
No.
They shouldn't.
If they want exposure and all this stuff, should they?
No.
Because isn't that what a lot of these small businesses want? They always say, we want more people, we want more customers, we want higher exposure, we want our brand to be noticeable.
Brent, they have no time. I think the basics of them are serve your customers, build a business, go in that diner, serve good food, smile, few things. And again, if you want to scale or go big, all the hacks. But I think for the average person, Brent, it's a 10-year journey of incremental growth. Unless you're purposely saying, I want to build a $50 million enterprise, I want to build a $100 million SaaS company, different. But I think for the regular person who has a yarn shop in middle America, do what you're going to do. That's my thought.
Likes don't equal sales. Stop chasing likes. I know so many people that got 1 million people and do a t-shirt launch and sell 3. So, I mean, that just, it's a vanity metric. That is not going to change your business. You know, it's like, oh, something went viral last week. How many sales did you get? None. How many people were added to your email list? 2. Okay,
so why do people chase it so hard then? Why do people chase it so hard and make nuisances out of themselves?
Vanity.
Dopamine.
All about vain.
Oh,
The dopamine chase.
we need some of you coaches to teach that kind of shit. Excuse my language.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
most of the coaches, I'm not talking about you, John, because I believe you're one of the better ones out there. Most of these coaches are selling these friggin' dreams to people that have absolutely no sense of reality. Like you said, they're vanity stuff. Vanity don't like get me a meal at night. But that's what I see is being taught to a lot of these people, and their dreams are going to be dashed because, I got a 500 likes and no sales.
But Brent, you have to realize, I mean, at some point, Brent, I think selling the dream and fairness is important because let's say I was a coach. I can't predict the results, but I can definitely say, my name is Ramon Ray, celebrity CEO. Here's what I've done. I built several brands. You can look at the facts that have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue, millions in value. This is what I've done. I'll teach you what I've done, but I can't guarantee. And fair, I hear your angle,
That's
Brent.
the point that you, as long as you added that part.
Okay, got it.
And a lot of folks don't. Or you have to add it in a way that doesn't get lost in all the hoopla.
Fair enough. Right.
That's the problem I see with a lot of the, as I said, present company excluded. A lot of these folks that are running around saying they're coaches and they're talking about all the stuff, that you can do and it gets all this. They don't sell the stuff that at least evens out and says, look, even if you try to repeat me, I can't tell you it's going to be the same way.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, final thought. Go ahead.
I was going to say it does depend also on the industry. I mean, I got a cousin. They got a coffee shop. They use social media a lot to be able to promote their products, to show their specials, to be like, hey, we just got this brand new drink. It's really awesome. They get a lot of engagement. They engage with their customers along with that, though, too. So it's a way for them to be able to do it. They're not chasing for that viral hit. They're just chasing to be able to make their customers know what's going on. They don't care who, because they're just like this little local coffee chain. They don't care about people in New Mexico or South Carolina or something like that. They only care in this little slice of Oregon. Same thing. I got a friend who's starting up a design / kind of like, we'll do some home improvement. She's doing a lot of stuff on social media because she's wanting to get her brand out there. Again, she doesn't care about the people that are in New Mexico or New York or something like that. They just want the little slice of them and to go viral locally.
That's it.
And
to pay themselves a consistent revenue, right, Leland? To pay themselves a simple, not millions, but to pay themselves a revenue to provide for their family. Go ahead, Leland. I cut you off. Please.
And that's for small business owners, that's what I would say. Just chase your local community. Service them. Don't care about that dopamine hit of like, oh man, now I'm a viral sensation. Who cares? Service your local community.
See, that's the kind of advice and information I'm glad we're able to talk about on this show, because I don't see that kind of like the practical, realistic uses of this stuff and the impact it can have. Everybody wants to go for all this pie in the sky stuff, and I love that you're able to point out examples of regular folk doing it right. There's this channel on YouTube. It's just that like these people build houses out of like next to nothing, like blades of grass, and they actually show, like, they speed it up, but they show like day 1, day 2, and you can see how they're building, and they're not saying a damn thing. They're just doing their thing, and by the end they have this fantastic thing that they built, and it gets 1 million views. But it's not about them selling themselves. It's about illustrating what they can do. and not saying it with their mouth, but saying it with what they do. And it gets a lot of attention. I think that's the way to go, more so than the, I'll show you how to make $1 million in 5 minutes. No, you won't. Anyway.
No, Brent, you're 100% right, and that's what we're here for. And I think my end comment, Brent, you asked for it. I think, listen, and especially in light of so many things going on in the last few days, go outside and smile at a neighbor, smile at a stranger, or at least be nice. Go outside, be as courteous as you can to the person behind you in line, front of you in line. Maybe you pay for an extra coffee for somebody, but let's all understand that we can be different people, but let's be nice to each other. And again, reminding people, definitely check out bitdefender.com/Ramon, bitdefender.com/Ramon, and make sure your small business is secure, Leland and Brent. Make sure while you're being nice. I'm going to tag John Lawson.
I want to share something with you guys from 2008 that I've always taught in a lot of the things when it comes to social. It's go to kk.org, and it's the Technium 1000 True Fans. And literally, if you, like that coffee shop or that local business, if you added 1 fan per day, you'd have 1,000 fans in 3 years. And literally, if those people just simply spent $100 with you every year, that's what, $1 million, right?
What
That's
was that
$1 million
website again?
business. KK.org.
KK.o.
Just look up 1,000 True Fans.
Okay, 1,000 true. All right, because I did KK.org and I got some Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, you'll get that, but it's on that page. But the Technium.
Okay,
but yeah, just look up 1,000 True Fans. It's been out there forever, and that whole concept will change your business.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that one. That's interesting. Who are you tagging?
Oh, even okay.
I think you have to tag me. I have to tag me. I think it's interesting. I started this whole conversation with you guys today talking about email, and you guys were talking about social. And I know that you guys know this and would say this. I'm going to say it because I know you will agree. Even though I said earlier that the ROI in email has declined, there's been a lot of challenges with email and all of those things. I do want to say something else to support, to get on the other side of that. Email is direct sales and marketing. Right now, that is probably the very best strategy you can do. It's not about the quantity of your email list. It is about the quality of your email list. Right now, open rates are like not that much of a thing. They're not like really accurate for a variety of technical reasons. Click rates are big. So if you are a new business or if you are like coming back to email, take your time, build those relationships, drive the people on your social into your email, please. So like Leland was talking about the folks that are using social to generate sales and get their brand out. What they need to be doing is building that email list. Right now, a B2B email costs or is worth, because if you were doing Facebook ads, this is what you would be paying, something like 18 to like $30 or something. It is insane if you're a B2B business. So it's really a great investment of your time to build, manage, and engage with your email. But I got to show you guys something that I saw in my paper today. I was like, this is the best marketing ever. You guys need to know that every Friday or Thursday night, we get a little weekender paper in our beautiful storybook town of Medina, Ohio, where we get all the latest and the greatest, right? This is, everyone gets this, right? We do not pay for it. It shows up in our mailbox, right? I don't know if you can see this. I do not know this man, but I think he is absolutely brilliant.
Steve the Painter.
Steve, there's an old YouTube video. I like stores that say just what they do. Steve the Painter. That's 3 words tells me so much, right? I know his name is Steve. I know he freaking paints. What's the next question I ask myself? What are you painting, Steve? Interior painting. Excellent. Now I know that. What else do you do, Steve? Ceiling and wallpaper removal, kitchen cabinets, probably the top 3 things that people are searching for. Steve got it right in here. You guys, this is like a little 1/8 of a page ad. It probably cost this guy like $10, right? 30 years experience, free quotes, but I got it. And you're 10% off walls. But this little thing that's in the Starburst, you guys are going to say amen to that. All calls returned in 1 business day. This is
Ivana, I love that, Ivana. I love that.
I love
And there's no need to be on Pinterest. There's no need to make it a meme. There's no need for it to go viral. He's reaching the people in Medina, Ohio, which nobody even knows about or cares about except you're there. And it's amazing. I love it, Ivana.
I love this so much, which is like my message for you guys is this is not fancy. This is not expensive. But this, like, I kid you not, the 1/8 of a page is little. It's about the size, less than the size of this phone. I am like, dude, I want to call Steve.
Okay, Leland, you've got to clip that out, post it, and make sure that we need to make sure Steve, the plumber, that's Joe.
Painter, bro. Painter.
I'm already thinking, does Steve the painter know Joe the plumber? No, anyway, and then even you have to post it on LinkedIn,
Yes,
and get 1,000 likes. We need 1,000 likes for Steve the painter.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Leland,
to digress, but I mean, this is so practical. So practical. Email,
Steve the painter.
Talk to people in your email, and don't be afraid of putting stuff out there that's basic.
Guess what that is, Ivana? If I could only find one of my thousands of mics to drop, but I don't.
Oh, mic drop?
That was a mic drop.
Basic is awesome. Basic is awesome.
And I agree with Ramon, who in our private chat said, even his excitement at the simple stuff is so fun.
And the domain name is open. The domain is available. Again, he probably doesn't need it. I know
the painter is available. Oh man.
Meaning, sorry. Well, let me rephrase. It's not available for purchase like normally, but somebody owns it and is selling, auction it off. So I was going to buy it just now. I mean, like that. Literally, I was going to buy this and sell it to
the painter
sit on
from Medina. Yes. I bet that's available.
Yeah, but in the Steve the painter from Medina. Yeah, that's
not
bad.
I know. Medina Steve. I don't know.
Well, y'all figure it out while we're off the air, and we will go ahead. And then everybody did, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, because we ran a little over, but hey, that was actually a completely organic conversation, and it was really interesting. I found it very interesting. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate folks in the comments section. I appreciate that we'll be doing this next Friday. Oh, let's see. We just got another comment. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Tom. First of all, thanks for joining us, Tom. And Tom says, great conversation, such a critical topic. Happy to contribute to the conversation. Yes. The one of the easiest ways is just to do what you just did. And eventually maybe we will have some folks to come from the comment section to join us on there. But in the meantime, have a great weekend. We will see you next Friday. Thanks, and if it's Friday, it's Small Biz Breakdown. It doesn't have the same kind of. Anyway, we'll see you next week.
See y'all later. Got to run, y'all. Take care, John.